I was just watching a video by the Mad Head Doctor, and it was about a lot of things. It was about like the speaker, being fired and how these things were happening in other countries as well around the same time. And then it kind of veered into like food shortages. And I remember when I was, this was during COVID or maybe like shortly after COVID. I was having a girls' trip. We had gone up to Massachusetts. Yeah. And we were, all sitting around, and I'd asked them all to name one conspiracy theory that they believed was true. And one of my friends, who is definitely like libertarian, all about her Glocks and her AR-15s and prepping and all things like that, she did not really believe that COVID was um, all that they were making it out to be. She was also not interested in receiving a vaccination, which she did eventually get. But what's worth noting is that she was also at the time battling cancer. So in that, I just found that really like a test of conviction, like you are in the middle of a pandemic, you're battling cancer, and you're refusing to receive a vaccine when it was made available because you didn't believe that the virus was that serious. Now, she did eventually get the vaccine. I don't know exactly why, but I remember that like she did also get COVID. I believe she got it before she was vaccinated, and she recovered. um, she was not, she masked, but really wasn't into masking. She was still social and going out and things of that nature. And I remember she told me that she eventually told her oncologist that she wasn't vaccinated, or that she like hadn't she had just recently gotten vaccinated. And her oncologist was like, Maggie, and I remember that was it. And she had told the oncologist, but I'm fine, I'm okay. Obviously some people are okay and some people were not okay and some people passed away. So, take that as you will. But I just thought it was interesting, like the how limited the oncologist was in like their condemnation. It was just like Maggie, like a child. It wasn't actually, I would think she would have, said more. But anyway, one of my other friends said that she didn't believe that there were as many food shortages as they claim that there are throughout the news. Mine was, mind control, obviously, media, mind control, programming, all that stuff. And my other friend, she's like an atheist. I don't think she had one. I think she did, she didn't care about any of it. But anyway, um, so anyway, I was listening to this video by the Mad Head Doctor, and the part that he mentioned about the food shortages, it reminded me of this old conspiracy theory I remember hearing. I I feel like I feel like George W. Bush was still in office when I heard this conspiracy theory. He was. I'm pretty sure he was, or maybe Obama was just getting in office, but I'm pretty sure GW was still in office. And it was about Codex. And the this was so long ago that I might get it wrong. I might not get it 100% accurate, but what I remember was that the woman that was talking about it, it was as if she was some kind of whistleblower from the inside. But she was saying that Codex creates these like standards around foods and their nutritional value, as well as like supplements, and that eventually they were going to strip the foods of their nutritional value so that people had to get their sustenance from supplements primarily. And it was like the urging in this was basically the same urging that everything comes down to, which is why I'm not I'm not opposed to conspiracy theory. I just see how they're using it to manipulate and control people. It's become another kind of demographic, another way of pooling people's interests and rallying up things. So I'm just like, I'm cool on that right now. But most conspiracy theories go back to the same principles, which is getting back to nature, getting back, you know, growing your own food, local markets, organic. I used to be like all about it. Like, for me, my particular thing was about organic foods and non-GMO. Like, I was so about that. And eventually, I mean, I backslid because life is complicated and it's intentionally complicated, and it's expensive. Okay, like a whole entire non-GMO organic kitchen is very challenging unless you are truly growing your own food, unless you're truly like only going to farmers markets, and even that is still questionable because of the pesticides and the soil and things like that. It's just like so much. Like you basically have to get into like a commune style of life where you are the ultimate authority on what you need. A farm. You need a farm, um I'm not a farmer. You know what I'm saying? Like, and nobody in my life is or was a farmer. Okay. So, you know, unfortunately, like when it comes down to this, a lot of times people don't put their money where their mouth is, like for real, because the ego is really involved. And it's like, well, I want my own land and I want to grow my own food, but I also want to be a pimp. Or like I also want to accumulate a lot of money, so I'm gonna get into scamming and like fraud and stuff like that. So it still ends up being disingenuous and topsy turvy, and that's why it doesn't work. But anyway, back to Codex. Like, I feel as though a lot of that has come to pass. As you know, we have like the genetically modified organisms in our food. We have like all these plastics, like all up in the food, all up in our bodies, like microplastics. We can't even really do anything about it. When we don't really know the harm that it can do. I mean, I personally believe that the human body will adapt. Now, what we evolve into, I don't know. It's a slow process, so I don't even really feel that invested in it. I am kind of like a let it happen person. It veers on nihilism. I'm kind of like, well, it's gonna happen. Like, let it happen. Um, but what I'm saying is like supplements were not supposed to be something that you necessarily had to ingest on a daily basis. And it is like now you're always being stressed to take your vitamins. You should be getting all the nutrients and vitamins and everything that you need out of food. That's where it should come from. That's where it ultimately does come from. But it's true, the foods are lacking in nutrition. They just don't have the nutritional value that they once did. Um, Sidebar, I was like, yeah, I had told my children that I don't like the fast food place Sonic. Like if you look at the Sonic menu, it's atrocious. I don't think there's any choice that's healthy, like not one. I think if anything, like the kids can get applesauce with their meal, but outside of that, I don't believe there's like any salad. Like there's no option that's healthy at all. It's not only is there no healthy option, but then just the food choices in general are so disgusting. It's like it's just gross. It's like a double burger drenched in cheese with like special sauce and fries and onion rings. It's like what the fuck is this? But anyway, I don't know. I mean, all fast food places are like not healthy, right? But like to me, Sonic is so disgusting. So I don't go there, and I had said to my kids once in front of my mother, their grandmother, that Sonic is really unhealthy. I don't like it. And so one day, one of my children brought it up, like, "Oh yeah, mommy, you don't like Sonic. Um, why don't you like it?" And I said, "Because it's unhealthy." And my mother was like, "Well, I enjoy Sonic, and I think that it's fine to have every once in a while." And it is. That's not my point. My opinion is I don't like it. Like I'll go to Chick-fil-A, I'll do Wendy's, but I really don't like Sonic. So, anyway, what I said to my kids was that your grandmother was born in 1945 where food was real. So, she has a foundation where she is more tolerant of foods that are not healthy. And I really believe that. I mean, these days, the foods that are available to our children in the grocery store is not food, bro. Like it's just not. I don't know what to tell you. Even the produce, I'm just like, what the fuck is this? It doesn't even taste right. Like the fruit is fucking bitter. Like why is it so bitter? Like nothing tastes right. Nothing tastes fresh for real. It all just tastes like chemicals to me. And all we can do is the best that we can do. Like I'm not even like, oh, I had the solution. Like I don't know. Like I mean the solution is like grow your own food or get into like local markets or be extremely vigilant and extremely choosy, but we don't have the time and this is not the economy to do that. And look what these farmers are saying. People are coming through and raiding them and making them throw away their meat, their livestock, making them kill their livestock, making them throw away their produce in mass. Why? I can't help but remember that conspiracy theory I heard way back in G.W. Bush's administration about Codex. And now it's like soap is super important. We must take our multivitamins. It's not like an option. It's not like you got your labs back and you're kind of low on this or that. Oh, take a multivitamin. It's not like when you're pregnant and you have to take your vitamin and your folic acid. Like, no, everybody should take vitamins every single day. And it's just kind of insane to me, that that is where we're at now. And it's been a slow moving process. Like I want to say that, like don't underestimate the slowness, like the slowness of shit. Because I remember growing up and hearing about how we're Flintstone kids, 10 million strong and growing, and how I'm drinking milk and like all that kind of stuff. Hold on. Shit. Hold on. Fuck. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought I was late to a meeting, but I'm not. I have to go soon though. Um, now the milk is like fortified with vitamin D. Like I think that's not even normally occurring in the milk, but they put it in there. Um, Even the holistic pediatrician that I used to take my children to did not believe in drinking like raw milk. He was like, "What the fuck?" He looked at me like I was crazy, like I was growing like two heads. Even he was pro vaccine, and I'm not even going to go there with the vaccine conversation. I just think everybody has to make their choices and say a prayer, whatever. Either way, if you want to like play with measles, if you want to play with polio, go ahead. If you want to take the vaccine and don't really know what it might do, like go ahead. Like I can't tell you what to do. But at this point, like our food is not really giving us any real nutritional value. It's like food is for fun, like food is for play. And then we take the vitamins so we can really get nutrients. So some conspiracy theories under Codex believe that they're, you know, the Codex conspiracy is that eventually they're going to cut the supply for supplements. And if that happens, then we really won't have any kind of nutritional sustenance. And what I read briefly just now is that is false. Like the official notice is that that's false. That there's no intention to cut off the supplements. But I feel like the whole argument is contrived. Like this is why I'm not really as into conspiracy theories as I used to be because there's so many and you don't know which ones are actually implanted just so that they can discount it. So I did not originally hear that the plan was to cut people from supplements. What I originally heard was that they were going to strip the nutritional value from our actual food supply, making us dependent on supplements. So now somebody floats out a conspiracy theory. Oh, Codex is going to cut off the supplements. So now people are scared they're going to be cut from their supplements. But you were never really supposed to get your sustenance from supplements in the first place. So they say, "Oh, that's not true. We're not going to cut you from your supplements." And then you breathe a sigh of relief like, "Oh, okay, good." Or it just creates this hypervigilance around supplements. Like, "Oh, make sure they don't cut your supplements. Make sure you get your supplements." But now we're not even talking about food shortages or the fact that our foods are fucked. Like, what the fuck is going on with GMO? Why is organic food no longer even organic food anymore? I mean, they're all just like, it's all just marketing for consumerism. It's like nobody talks about the kind of pesticides that are used in organic foods, thus making it not really organic food, or what's going on with the soil, or, why are we killing off these animals? Why are we telling farmers to get rid of their food supplies, thus creating shortages, thus creating inflation? You know, but it's okay because I'm going to pop my vitamin D3 with my vitamin K for absorption and I'm going to be all good. And that to me was the whole point. If I'm going to follow the theory, then it's going according to plan, according to the original theory that I heard. So basically we're not eating food anymore. We're just eating supplements. Supplements are very expensive too, by the way. But yeah, if they cut off supplements eventually, if that is the plan, then people are even more screwed because they definitely aren't getting what they need from the food. So yeah, that was just what that video reminded me of. I was like, yeah, it just sounds like the agenda for Codex, which is like a global thing. It's not just a U.S. issue. And I'm not really sure why we're doing things the way that we're doing them. I think like one of the Codex conspiracy theories was that it had to do with population control. I remember a friend of mine was going into environmental science and he took a class about how we don't have enough resources in the planet for the amount of people that are inhabiting this sphere. Now, I mean, the class didn't go into population control, but it was just talking about the theories that we just don't have enough, you know, we don't have enough resources, which I think is bullshit. I think is complete bullshit. The problem is the systems that we're implementing in circulating and distributing these resources. The problem is really the capitalism and the imperialism and colonization. That's really the issue. We have plenty of land. This earth has plenty of land for the people. Why we decide to force people to live in such close quarters, and why we choose to pollute the environment, that's another issue. And that's an issue that they don't want to address. So, yeah, the systems are failing, and their attempts to solve the problem of their systems is to compromise our health so that we die. Because I feel like the more people we have, like the more people will access freedom. It's just, it may not be the majority, but it will be more people pushing back on the systems, pushing back on the 1% that wants to keep all of their money. And again, it's like the love of money is the root of all evil. Like that's really where, like, you have to follow the money. It's easier to compromise people's health, their well-being, their quality of life, to the point where they're like killing themselves, killing each other, or they're they're having so many health ailments that it's compromising their longevity of their lives, than actually just sharing the wealth and letting people be happy and abundant and free, because you're greedy, because you're operating under a particular frequency of greed, manipulation, deceit. And like for me, it always comes down to like good versus evil. It's all like spiritual warfare type of thing. And the only way for me, the only way to really grapple with that, like really grapple with it, is to go into like a hermit mode, like go within for your own peace of mind, for your own enlightenment. And that can lead you a number of places. That could lead you to going to a Buddhist monastery and becoming a Buddhist monk, or it might lead you to growing having your own farm, growing your own land. It could lead you to deciding to be homeless and just lead a nomadic lifestyle. It could lead you to just say, fuck it, I'm just gonna ride this out, um, and just be completely status quo until I meet my maker. you know we have choices. It's just about, are you at peace with the choices? Are you conscious of the choices? Are you aware of the choices? Right now my choice is, to be pretty status quo. I'm not going to lie. I feel as though the idealism that I once had in younger years, it genuinely sucked the life out of me, because it was extremely fruitless and disappointing. And until I can really shed that level of disillusionment, I will stay right here in my regular ass life. And I'll just tell my kids that I think Sonic is garbage food, and we need to eat more fruits and vegetables even though they suck. And maybe one day I will be in position to only go to farmers markets and only use local farmers, a local butcher, and things of that nature. But right now, I'm just doing the best that I can. And I'm okay with that, because um, I might be halfway there if I'm lucky, if you understand what I'm saying. And yeah, I guess it's nihilism. I kind of feel like at the end of the day, I'm going to leave this world and my children are going to have to face whatever is going on. And they are just as susceptible to falling victim as I am, as our older generations were. And it's a level, to me it's almost like a level of detachment. Like I just you know, I'm just kind of like, okay, I feel like this is just this life be over soon, heaven last always. Like I kind of like, this isn't the only thing. This is just one of the things that my soul is doing right now. But there's other stuff. This is just a lesson. This is just like earth school. I'm just doing the human thing right now, and this is what humans are doing right now, so I'm doing it too. Just like all like the cells in our bodies, they just do what the cells do. Just like all of the elements, outside of us in the atmosphere, they just do what they do. I'm a human. I'm a human body, I'm a human cell, and I'm doing what humans do. That's why I'm very neutral when it comes to conspiracy theories, cuz I'm like, okay, is it apathy? Probably. But when you get locked into that day to day, it's kind of hard to push against the machine. It's almost like a young person's game. Because I got a full calendar of shit that I have to do, and I don't know if I'm going to have time to build my farm or to go, create a commune slash cult. Been there, done that. Doesn't really work. It doesn't. But I have enough things going on. If I can make it to a local butcher, you know, God willing, like I don't know, bro. The local butcher in my town, definitely like a proud boy, um, descendant of KKK. Yeah, we don't go there. Basically, is what I'm saying. I don't go there. I don't go to the, it's called a meat market, and a lot of people go there. It's all up in the cut in the middle of the woods, in the middle of seemingly nowhere. And my family has never gone there. We don't go to that side of town, if you feel what I'm saying. Um, because they are known to be, outright, not with my people. But that means I have to look for another butcher, and where the fuck is that? So, that's where I am with with the food. But yeah, that's what Mad Head's video reminded me of. I don't know what's in play. Like, I don't really know what the plan is, and I feel like that's exactly what where we're supposed to be right now. Like, we're not supposed to really know what the fuck is going on. Like, I felt like at one point I kind of knew what was going on. Like, oh, this is because of this, and they're trying to do that, and da 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 da. But these days, I'm like, I don't know. This internet has gotten way too big. Like, anybody can just jump on here and say anything. Like QAnon. Like, to me, QAnon is an absolute joke. I do not. I cannot. Why do we still not know who QAnon is? Like, why do it's just so dumb. It's like the Riddler, like it's like Saw. It's just so fucking jigsaw stupid. Like, I can't. It just seems like a joke to me. Um, and then I feel as though some political strategists implemented that so that they could like lobby some kind of political, like a political body to get votes. And it worked, you know. That's why I don't really fuck with anybody on that side, Trump and them. Like, I don't really fuck with them because to me, if your greatest like support base has to do with QAnoners, and I was into that shit. Like I was aware of it. I was knowledgeable of that before it became a mainstream political movement. And back when I was aware of it, I thought it was dumb shit. I'm like, okay, I see what happened. Somebody saw an opportunity here and that's what it is. Or it was always meant to be that. And I just don't want anything to do with it. I mean, we got dude, I really have to go, but that guy, Assange is still hiding out over leaking documents, but nobody can tell me who the fuck QAnon is stupid. It was meant to be like that. And so that's why I'm like, I feel like the conspiracy stuff, I can no longer be baited into that because it just doesn't, it's not giving authenticity to me anymore. And we're in a period of time where we don't know what to believe. And somebody thought that that was a good idea. Like, let's make people paranoid about everything. Like, I literally watched a friend of mine kind of lose it. And when I say lose it, I mean like could not have any more quality of life because everything was a conspiracy theory. They're doing this, they're doing that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And, just created an island around themselves. But the thing is, no individual in this society, except like the super rich, can afford to be an island unto themselves. So while you're fighting the good fight, and you might be right about it all, you're on an island and you have no resources. So unfortunately, yeah, we had to play into the system. And that's why I say it becomes an internal battle. Like you have to make peace with something. Okay, I gotta go.